My name is Ashley, and this is Let's Talk Dispatch.
I do. You're gonna do it. Do it really well.
And I believe the world needs more dispatchers.
Around in the mud, blood, and
plus
beer.
years that I'm not working 4th of July. 4th of July.
Say community policing, right? What about community dispatching?
So on this show, with the help of my guests, we will educate, empower, and support the heroes behind the headset.
Right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode here of Let's Talk Dispatch. I am super excited today to be giving you guys this episode. It is one of our first submissions for the If This Wasn't a Recorded Line segment that I am putting together to bring to you folks. If you're not familiar with that, I posted a video reel on Instagram a couple weeks ago, sharing one of my stories about one of my calls that weigh a little bit on me. It was about a non-emergency call that I received at 0200 that just kind of hangs with me, you know, and I told that story in order to open the door for listeners and folks who follow the Raspy Dispatcher to be willing and want to share their stories with the public. And that is because, you know, I know that in this line of work as dispatchers, we often say, you know, don't ask me about my toughest call. And I understand folks' reasons for not wanting to share the stories that hold a lot of trauma for them. But I also want to empower folks who are able and willing to share those stories to do so in any way, shape, and form that's comfortable. But if you are willing to submit that story to me, I will be sharing it with the world who listens to our podcast, who follows our YouTube channel, our Instagram, so on and so forth, in a segment called If This Wasn't a Recorded Line. And the idea behind this segment is that you share your stories, the good, the bad, the hilarious, all the things in between. But it allows folks who are not in this line of work to really get a glimpse into the things that we are hearing every day, 12 hours a day, multiple times a day as a 911 dispatcher. So this morning, I got my first form submission. You can submit your story online at theraspydispatcher.com, or you can also shoot me an email, ashley@theraspydispatcher.com, to submit your story, and I'll share it on our podcast, on our social medias, and it can be as anonymous as you would like. Or you can include your name and information and be represented in that way. But it is just a way for us to be able to share our experiences with the fellow dispatchers out there, so they know, like, someone gets it. We've all been through something similar, as well as the general public who doesn't really have a full understanding of the line of work we are in and the calls we receive and answer on a daily basis. Without further ado, our first segment, If This Wasn't a Recorded Line, Julie Lockhart.
911.
The things I would say
Hello. Can you hear me?
if this wasn't a recorded line. I started in dispatch at 22 years old, and I never really knew what a dispatcher did. I grew up in a state police family, been to my dad's station many times, but never really knew who it was that made sure my dad came home safe at night. His dispatchers. When I became a 911 dispatcher in 1995 and scared to death, I had such a huge responsibility on my shoulders. The safety of not just the citizens in my county, but the officers, firefighters, and EMS crew as well. That is a huge ask of anyone, even if I wasn't just 22 years old. The one thing no one can ever prepare you for in this job is how it will affect you. Why? Because it honestly is different for everyone. Approximately 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with PTSD. I remember sitting in my Jeep in the parking lot of my 911 center thinking, I can't take another phone call where someone is screaming at me or dies on me. I literally felt that my soul couldn't take another hit of death and mayhem. It was then I knew I had to talk to someone. Luckily, my family physician noticed the changes over the last couple checkups, and when I came in, she was glad that I had came to her. After being put on medication for depression and anxiety, I was sent to a counseling service. Here, I bared my withering soul, begging for someone to help me get back to my old self. This is when I realized I had helped people so much over the years, but never did anyone look at me and say, "How can I help you?" I am now in my 28th year of dispatching and have been moved into an office as the training coordinator. My goal when I train new dispatchers is that they realize first and foremost, they are never alone. Yes, they have their shift mates, but what I mean is that there is someone in the office that is ready to help them if they ever need it. There's no shame in asking for help, and in fact, it is now my goal to even offer it before they may realize they need it. Being diagnosed with PTSD and going to counseling was honestly a turning point that I truly believe has made me a better dispatcher and even better trainer. So the point of my story, even though our job is helping, literally giving all we have every day on the job, and then trying to be there for our family and friends, that we do not forget to help ourselves. If this wasn't a recorded line, Julie Lockhart. Julie, thank you so much for trusting me with your story and being willing to share it with our listeners, fellow dispatchers, and ultimately citizens. If you have a story like Julie's to tell, please do not hesitate to head over to theraspydispatcher.com, click the podcast link on the website, and there will be a link that says tell your story or tell my story. There you'll find a form where you can be as anonymous as you'd like. You can also shoot me an email, ashley@theraspydispatcher.com, and tell me your story. Again, good, bad, happy, sad, hilarious, anything you would like to share, I would love to pass it along to the folks who are listening. Again, my name is Ashley. Thank you all for the love and support. And until next time, stay raspy, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on Let's Talk Dispatch. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a 5-star review. Consider joining our Patreon for exclusive content, early access to episodes, and discounts on merch at theraspydispatcher.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All of these things help support the creation of more content, because the world needs more dispatchers. Thank you all again for the love and continued support, and until next time, stay raspy.